money like cashier. Get the money like a cashier. Customer, clientele. I was broke, that was last year. Getting money like cashier. Get the money like a cashier. Benjamin, nothing less. I was broke, that was last year. Don't change on me. I never switched up. Been down since day one. Stay social. People change on me. I never switched up. Social currency.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to DBT Live. My name is Marcus.
I'm Kevin.
And who else we got? Who we got coming in? You need to unmute yourself.
No.
I love it.
Stefania, you're still muted.
There we go. We got Stefania.
Good evening, Mike Carter, aka Mr. Carter, aka the Paper Boy.
Yeah, we got a special guest on here with us today. Who we got?
Thomas Elias Lockhart III.
The third.
Oh, okay. Welcome to DBT Live. Glad to have you here.
Thomas Lockhart.
Thank you guys for having me.
Renowned Denver-based international selling artist. Highly talented. What's going on with you? How you doing today, man?
Oh man, I'm feeling really good. It's every day's getting better than the last, so very thankful.
Yeah. Now, I mean, funny story, because I didn't know that Michael Carter knew you. I happened to meet you while you were selling a piece.
Yes.
And I was blown away by the piece. And I'm like, I almost want to buy that,
Yeah.
What you got, Carter?
Still got the original. It's still available.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I want to say is I know Thomas. I know Thomas for a couple of years. And when you told me you were having an artist on, I didn't think about it. And you sent a headshot. And I looked at him. I was like, oh, now I'm looking at him like, now I understand why I didn't recognize him because of the headshot. He gave me, that must have been like 5-10 years ago. But
that was about 4 years ago
but
and plus I didn't have my goatee. All that was gone.
That was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Hey, look here. That was a phase.
Yeah, no doubt. So I am, if you come to my house, you will see a lot of art. I like art. I love art. In particular, I love Black art and Black artists in that aspect. So just real happy to have you on. Hopefully we can inspire some folks to head off to your website, which we'll share tonight with your permission, of course, and
absolutely
get some orders. But yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, everybody go ahead and go right now. ThomasLockhart.com. Look them up. Is that right? It's Thomas.
You can go to Lockhart Gallery.
Lockhart Gallery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Thomas E Lockhart. That's that one. Lockhart Gallery has where the work is at. That site right there shows all my just the about me and about my process and things like that. So yeah.
Now myself, I'm also big into art. It's Black art as well. I was always into comic art and a lot of pencil, stuff like that. But when I saw your work, I saw something you did with a Black woman in a slave ship, and I was kind of blown away. And then you were selling it, and I was just asking, what's the symbolism? And you took me on an entire Black history course through that piece of art.
Okay.
So
yeah, absolutely.
What's up, Carter? Where you pointing at?
Oh, I love the saxophone, and then the saxophone and the baseball player.
Yeah, if you go to Lockhart Gallery and then type Lockhart Gallery in, or just click buy art, it'll take you directly there from that site.
Are you up with us putting those in the Facebook?
Yeah.
You mind if we put the link to your website in the Facebook?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Cool. Because what I want you to do, Thomas, is I want you to give these people in our audience and on the show, give them the treatment you gave me in person when I met you. Because some of this stuff, man, you can go on for 30 minutes about one piece, but kind of break down some of the stuff that you got. And I know you have pieces with you right now that you want to break down also.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, I wanted to tell you a little bit about some of these pieces, and we can start with the one that's directly behind me. And what I'll do is I'll switch my camera and kind of take you through the piece. So this particular piece behind me is called "We Come for Our Check." And when I came up with this piece, I was inspired. First time I had ever seen this speech that Martin Luther King gave, and this was before he was killed. And this was, a matter of fact, to find out a little bit more why he was killed. It was because the money was going to start to be involved. He was planning a poor man's march. He was planning another march on Washington. And he said, because of all the adverse effects and the things that have happened to us, he said, we're coming for a check this time. And he said, you know, his "I Have a Dream" speech, he actually was in the process of saying, you know, I almost apologize for even giving that speech. And the reason behind that is because he still sees that everything that was happening, it seems like we're looking at all those things from 50 years ago. A lot of this stuff is still happening today. The leaders that we had back then are now dying, and we haven't seen too many other new leaders come up since then. But we are having this great awakening of realizing that there are some fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Shoes. I'm gonna dial into.
There we go.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Someone was trying to dial into me. They need to dial into the program. Yeah. And so anyway, that's where he was. And then now a lot of these things are coming out about King. So once King was shot, King then was taken to the hospital. And he went to a specific hospital, and I believe they called it St. Joseph Hospital or Joseph Hospital or whatever. And they were working on King, trying to get him back, you know, because he was actually still alive. He didn't die up there on the ledge. And there were some doctors that came in and said, "What are you doing?" And it says, "You guys need to leave this room," you know. And one of the nurses looked back and saw what these three doctors came in. She said they spit on him. And then the head doctor took a pillow and put it over his face and suffocated him. And that's potentially how he fully died. And both of those two segments I got from, and I seen a segment which I saved, and there were two accounts showing that you know, because they were saying, you know, when you have something to say, well, why didn't this come out earlier? Two verifications from two different parties, two different folks of accounting of what happened to Martin Luther King at the time. So it's crazy because he possibly could have lived. I don't know what type of condition he would have been in, but if that didn't happen, you know, his life could have been prolonged. So we look at all these atrocities and things that have happened to our society and our world. And so many people are starting to learn of different things, you know, like Black Wall Street, finding out about that, the atrocities that, you know, they took all those bodies of those people and they threw them and buried them under, and then ran a big highway right over the whole bodies of cemeteries of Black folks that were killed in the Tulsa riots. And so he was talking about a lot of those things that have happened to us over and over and over and over again. And the thing that, since I've been reading and looking at a lot of different things, America never intended on us becoming free people. They intended on keeping us as slaves forever. And so their systematic plan of different things that they put in place was supposed to be a continuation. And so a lot of those things been a continuation, of course, with the cop killings. You know, cops came from the plantation. That's where the whole policing started in our nation, from the plantation, and it moved to there. And so we've always been a target, you know, from then, you know, from the lynchings and all these things. They're talking about the lynching bills and stuff that when Kamala was still in the Senate, and Booker was talking about this lynching bill from the late 1800s to from 1918, they were lynching a Black person almost like every other day. So, and then we see nowadays, even last year, they were saying that, oh, these Black folks committed suicide and hung themselves from these trees. Right. That's one thing we just don't do.
Right.
You know, and so just learning so many things about our culture and who we are, where we came from. You know, we've been completely broken apart from all the things that we've had a connection to over years. You know, every time if you were a slave and you got sold, your name would change. Every time you'd sold, another time you had a different name. And so all that systematic of taking you out of where you came from has been one of the plagues that has pushed upon us as a people and a nation. But this particular piece, I'll take you around this piece so I can kind of show you about it. Let's see, flip the camera here. Oops. All right. Okay. So, all right. And you see, so in this piece, you have King, and he is standing, and he has both his hands up. In one of his hands, above his hands, he has a slave ship. And then on his other hand, above that hand, there's a check. It's like a government check. And on one of his hands, he has like 3 nooses. And these nooses in the picture of my representation of putting it together represented the first 300 years of slavery. And then on his hand over here, underneath the check, has 400 years. So in 2019, we entered 400 years of when the ships first landed in Virginia back in 1619. And so along with this picture, you have dark skies over here. And then on this side, the skies have lighted up a little bit. And so it's showing, you know, the great awakening of us. Coming down here from Martin Luther King's jacket, it's kind of draining over the White House, as you see. That's here in the picture. And in front of the White House, there are 2 trees on both sides. And what I did is I took the 2 trees that are in front of the White House and I burned into them. And I said, in these trees, I believe that there's things that are hidden behind here. And if you know a little bit about the story of the White House, I can't remember if it was this exact color, but it got looted, kind of like what just happened.
Hey, Thomas, can you scoot the camera over just a little bit so we can see the tree? Yeah, there you go. The right.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. When the insurrection happened, you know, they tried to burn the White House down years ago, and they had to repaint it, and they repainted it white. And so that's how it got its color that it has now. They painted over all the smoke that had happened when they tried to burn it. But anyway, in these segments, what I did is I did a timeline, and the timeline dates back to 1515 when they had some indentured servants. They had other people that were coming into America, and there were a lot of blacks that had been over here even before when it had been on the land. There were blacks and Moors and stuff that had came in travel and searching before a lot of the ships, like with Columbus. So what I did is I put in this timeline all the different things that we got denied from in and after slavery. The different things about not being able to get into the military, the different things that happened to us with the trading and the cattle, and how we were denied in the first Constitution, because we didn't have rights until we got into the second Constitution, until the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, were we actually given rights as men.
Thomas,
yes.
you must not be. Back up just a little bit, because maybe you can't see the viewfinder while you're pointing at it. There you go. My question is, inside of that tree, is that like a slave ledger, or what is that exactly? Is that the timeline you were referring to? I couldn't quite read.
Yeah, it's a timeline. Let me see if I can get just a little bit closer so you can see. Can you see some of the the words and verbiage? Yeah. So so it has dates and everything, the military. And then there's one down in 1804, Haiti. There was a war that was fought in Haiti. The French, they tried to take over that that place and the plantations and stuff that were there, and the Haitians were able to fight them off. And so they were able to get their independence. The first country in the world to get their independence was Haiti in around 1804, but they paid for it. So for many years, Haiti had to pay back a lot of these other countries to be able to sell anything that they had. And just because they were an independent country and because they weren't enslaved anymore, there are several countries that made them pay back about $52 to $54 billion. And that's one of the reasons why Haiti is so poor in the things that they're dealing with. So coming across here, you'll see there's people that have come to the White House. I collage and I do a lot of mixed media. If you could see some of that, there are different images of people and also collage images of real pictures that are collaged into the piece.
Oh, just us now. And so, okay, so that's the same timeline on both sides?
It's a different timeline. It continues. It goes from 1515 all the way to 2019.
Okay.
Of different things that have happened about the Black Codes. The Black Codes started back in 1865, a year after slavery. Also, another thing, we talk about Juneteenth. That was the year that there were several, probably hundreds of thousands of slaves that were in Texas that found out that they had been free for 2 years, but they didn't know that. But in Texas, there were a lot of tribes of Native Americans that were holding a lot of blacks as slaves in themselves, and the government actually had to come in and force them to release them. And in the 13th and 14th Amendment, they gave a lot of money to Africans to help them get on their feet, and they gave it to a lot of the tribes, the Native American tribes, and they kept that money and didn't give it to us. So that was a little bit more about the Juneteenth of what happened back then. But
okay.
Yeah, so
cool. Now, what I want to do, I want to jump straight over back to your website. We're going to do a screen share, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think Mark is going to pick some stuff that's close to his heart, some music related stuff. Because you cover the whole gamut of styles. That's one thing I know is you do all kinds of different styles. You do stuff for home, stuff for at work, but also different mediums as well.
Yes. So on the site, I have originals, and then I also have reproductions of the originals too on the site.
So for like this one right here, I understand, is the original sold?
The original is sold, but if you're interested in that piece, there should be the piece is called 7-Up Jam, and if you go under Home at the top left, and you click on that and go down to Art Reprints, which would be the very next one, right there. Click that, and then I think you can scroll down till you find that piece. You can also put it in the thing at the top, and then in that piece. Let's see. Keep on going down. I think it should come up shortly.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Exactly that piece right there, creation of sound, which probably interests me a little bit more. Anything with drums for me.
Go full screen.
A major for me. So you come to my house, you walk in my living room, you will see a painting by a friend of mine who was a former client, or I represented her brother, and beautiful painting. And I love purple. So right here, I like that piece right there. That's
Thomas. Tell us about this. Tell us about this piece. Wow, you know what? I mean, you're an artist. Everything has a reason. Everything has a reason on the page. Tell us about what's going on in this.
Absolutely. This particular piece, Creation of Sound, and I still have the original of this one. It's, I think, 24 by 24 inches. With this particular piece, I kind of go back and forth between a realistic style and also Cubism style. And I love working with the thick lines, thick black lines, and working with mixed media. So in this particular piece, this man, his hat is made of a handkerchief, his tie and his handkerchief in his shirt is like a real handkerchief that I used. He has real buttons on his shirt. The drums are made of individual collage mixed media paper, and then it's all collaged and mixed into the piece. So
using this piece is 3D. There's 3D elements to this piece.
Yeah, it's like a 3D piece.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can, and this is just a reproduction, but you can almost see the buttons are raised even on the reproduction, right?
Yeah. If I had a second, I could go grab it because I got it over there on the other side. Yeah, see it. Yeah.
What's going on with the Swing for Greatness?
Swing for Greatness. Go back to that one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that one.
I got these originals still there, framed up. This one is, I think it's 12 inches by probably 24 or 28 inches, and it's framed. And this particular piece is also a mixed media piece. So what I do is I take like his shirt, his hat, his socks, and I take the paper and I design it, and then I place it onto the image, and then I paint over the paper to give the effects of the shirt, the colors and stuff within the shirt. And so in this particular phase, I was doing a lot of different colors that were really pushing out behind the piece with the sky and the land. And if you were able to zoom into the piece, you'll see that there's people that are watching him play. And I took real photos and put those in the background, so they're watching him swing. So Swing for Greatness, the whole premise behind that, and what I use in my metaphors and put my pieces together, that even in golf and in life too as well, you're taking several swings and you're perfecting it, and you're getting better each and every time at the goals and the dreams and the things that we possess to continue to move forward in life. So that's the part of the Swing for Greatness in that particular piece.
And there's not only one black golfer, but is there some Tiger Woods inspired reference in there as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I had planned on doing a piece of Tiger after he had won the Masters, but I got busy doing some other things I was going to do. I had this really cool picture I was going to do. So
you got a lot of trials going on.
I'll eventually.
I know Marcus is going to stop on this one right here.
Yeah. Yes. So this piece right here is called, this piece is called Drummer's Dream. And how I put this piece together is on cold pressed watercolor paper.
Oh, wow.
So it's a mixed media piece. So this drummer is a fictional drummer, but he's like a really good drummer. And the reason why he became that good is because he learned from all these different cultures. So starting at the bottom right, you have some African drums. As they move around the piece, you move into other things. Asian women, you see Art Blakely. That's right over to his
one of my favorite drummers.
Right,
yeah.
Right elbow. And so this piece is framed up. It's real nice. Right now, it's at Children's Hospital. They have it on display in their gallery right now for the next couple months for their Black Heritage program. This is their first time putting this event together.
Do you have reproductions of this?
Yes. And then on the website, it has different sizes that you can pick. You can get it matted. You can get it framed. You can do it all on that one page. So if you click,
And the original is the original mixed media as well. My wife's probably going to text me and tell me no, but that's all right. But I'm going to spend the money I made. But anyway, is this mixed media just the same?
Yes, it's mixed media too as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of, and then on the back of the piece, you can't see it, it's already framed, but what I did is I wrote all the images that I put in there. So it was a reference to find from the Hispanic or the Mexican drums, the Asian, the African drums, and all the images that I collaged and put into that particular piece.
Now, our main screen is a little further away than preferable. Can you enlarge that back again, Marcus? Because there was a face. There were a couple faces I couldn't quite make out, and I was wondering if you could give us who is that in the top left?
Top left up here.
Yes.
You said black and white.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about right
here?
Yeah,
above the symbol.
Right here.
Above the symbol.
Looks like a female. Is that a female?
Yeah, that's a female that's up there. I can't remember her name right off bat. I did this piece a number of years ago, so please forgive me.
I see a lot of people in there now. Now that I'm looking,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, our monitor's way back, so I'm
Yeah.
seeing a lot of faces in there now.
Is Sheila
Yeah.
in there?
I don't know if Sheila E's in there.
Okay.
I don't think she's in there, but there's a number of other well notable drummers, especially over to the left side too, by one of the symbols.
I love it.
So it's kind of like, it's like a big mixture of
Nice.
drummers. And so it's like how he became, his dream of becoming this amazing drummer is because he took the time to research and to emulate and to practice and to find out about these other drummers that put so much time and effort into their pieces.
Well, that sounds like me. So
Yeah.
we'll have to talk about the original piece offline then. So put all that out there. Anyway.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, so when I was looking at your art, the main thing that stood out to me is your use of bold colors. And as an aspiring artist myself, I was telling Thomas candidly that I always struggled with selecting colors, and he just gave me the basics. Was like, you can use a color wheel, But and I felt so dumb because I'm sitting there thinking he's going to give me this key to life, this magic olive branch that's going to take me to that next level. He's like, use your tools. But you're doing a lot with these images.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of wondering, like, how do you draw? What do you do to draw inspiration to come up with these different ideas? So I see you do stuff for home, for work, for just for personal interest and whatnot.
Yes. Coming up with my ideas is it really runs the gambit. I mean, some images that I could have start with a conversation, that I may be having with somebody, and it'd be something that you say that sparks something, and I got to go jot it down and write it down. I remember there's this piece that I have, and it's on the site. It's called "I'll Send Down an Army for You." The original piece is like 48 by 48, and so I was listening to the song by this Christian artist. Her name is Lauren Daigle, and she had a song called "Rescue." It was a pretty popular song, and it was my first time hearing it. I was on my way to the gym, got to the gym waiting for my friend to get there. I'm listening to the song. I had this blank envelope and a pen, so I start sketching what I saw through the song that she was singing. And from then, I end up having my friend come do some modeling for me, and the whole piece comes out. Where there's this man on the edge of a cliff and he's been beaten down and broken. And there's this Roman soldier that's about to take him out with a sword. And all of a sudden the sky opens up and there's all these angels that are coming down to rescue him. And so just different premises. Like I have a piece that I just sold to one of a senator in Illinois. Her name is Senator Dr. Patricia Van Pelt. And it's a picture that I got called Crowns in Rotation. And that particular image, I got the inspiration from that one from seeing this play called Colorism. In Colorism, it was all based on the things that we've done, and I mean that we've been through as Black folks throughout slavery and through many different things where they try to pit us against each other. The light-skinned Blacks against the dark-skinned Blacks. And so what I wanted to do is do a celebration with all of them. And I took 6 men from 6 different backgrounds, and I did from dark to light skin from the different things in there. And so what I did is I put 6 crowns on each one of those men. And biblically, 6 is a number of man. So I said 6 and 6 equals 12. They become disciples. They learn from the older generation, teach the younger generation that they're kings, and the crowns continuously rotate. And so where I got the crowns and rotation part from, I was listening to another song. And Kendrick Lamar was in a song and he said something about crowns and rotation. So seeing that play, hearing that lyric, I put both of those things together and came up with that image. And so that's how it starts sometimes. And sometimes I'll see a picture or an image, and from that image I will find something. I'll say, okay, I know this is a picture that somebody took a picture of, but what can I pull out of this to give it my own creative ability to grow this piece and give it a new life? So I kind of do that too as well.
Okay, I got another one I want to pull up. It's one of my favorites on your site.
After that, I got one too, but I like that.
Yeah. So And this was a blessing. I just sold this original in Pittsburgh a couple months ago to this one businessman. And so this piece is called The Notorious Dreamer. And when I put this piece together, I had a set thing that I wanted this piece to be able to do. And I wanted, as I made his Coogee sweater from the original picture that I found, I added his other arm that you could see the whole arm. And then I collaged him in there. Those are all different types of pieces of paper of color. And then I painted on top of those to get that Coogee sweater feel. I put a real necklace on him.
Yeah.
And then I took, there's a real rubber band around his hand. And then I cut into the canvas. And then I made the money. And I put him on the money. And then so the money comes out of the picture. So you can actually flip through the hundreds and the $50 bills and stuff and see the images, from the original picture that's on here. And then the sweater is actually pulling away. His son and his daughter are on his right and left arm, and they're looking at their father, and then I put lyrics and stuff, positive lyrics and stuff that Biggie had given. And then in the top, you see the dove as it's moving away. It's a picture of Biggie and Pac, when they were together, when things were cool with them. His wife at the bottom, Faith, and the connection in the very background, you can see like a silhouetted image of the Twin Towers, because he made a song about them before they did end up falling. So
and it's called The Notorious Dreamer. And in the song Juicy, which is the second word on there after Faith, he married Faith, which is, metaphorical as well. But in Juicy, the first lyrics were, "It was all a dream."
It was all a dream. Yeah.
Warning. That's that actually is my favorite Biggie song. Trying to get me for my papers, and he's literally got paper coming out of the canvas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the level of intricacy that drew me into you as an artist. And I'm not going to gush too much. Mike said he wanted to jump in.
Oh, this one. Tell me about this one real quick.
Okay.
If I can find it.
And Stefan, don't feel left out. If you want to jump in on something, feel free. Everybody can change you.
Yeah. So you know what? I did this piece back in 2003, probably, and it's based on, of course, the Newark. The
Eagles. Were they the Eagles?
Yeah. Yeah, from the Newark, from the Negro League.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so that's where that piece had initially came from, where I came up with that concept for that image. It's a big mammoth gentleman just about to take that ball right out the park, just the celebration of the Negro League. It was one of those things that if that league had never been broken apart, and a lot of the black baseball players didn't end up in the American leagues and initial baseball leags, who knows what would have happened with that, especially if they were to face off against some of those other teams. They probably would have blew them away, because there was so much.
Kind of know.
No. Quite as kept. There was times where they would not even allow the Negro League to play MLB for fear of
Absolutely
losing. not even the racial aspect of it. It was the that's
boys can hit. The boys can run.
And I think Hank started in the Negro League as well. I just like that piece.
And this story is still reverberating today, because if these black players were to just step out and make their own league, one, you've lost 70% of the NFL. Two, you're not going to be able to stop them monetarily. They will take it to a higher level where they'll be iconic from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not a political show, but yeah.
Yeah.
We're not political at all.
Not political.
If 75% of your workforce left, what do you think would happen? Oh, and by the way, how come none of your middle managers represent 75% of your workforce? Well, we're not a political show.
Yep.
What about owners?
Yeah. Oh man. That's another thing in football, because if you're a football player, what do you call the person who's control of the team? Usually you call him my owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible
Yeah.
terminology, but you're right. You're right.
That's my owner.
Any other corporation that's the CEO?
Right.
That is the CEO. In that sport, oh, that's my owner.
Yeah, that's my owner.
Look at that player. He's a real specimen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need to drop you down to your skivvies and watch you run.
Exactly. That's it.
It's the same.
Here, I'm gonna stop. There we go.
Yeah.
I really like that piece. I have one more, and I saw it. It was the Delta Dynasty, and I don't know where I saw that one.
Yeah, I think that's on there too as well. Yeah.
And then talk to me about that Delta Dynasty.
Delta-
Yeah, there it is. Hold on, come on. We have to share this one. And then I'm gonna let Spania. I'm gonna get out your way, girl. But you gotta share this one, and you gotta tell me what's going on in this piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow,
So this piece, I actually made this piece, and I was there in DC when they had their 100-year anniversary. It was crazy. And so all the ladies, it was probably 50,000 women that were there, Deltas from all over the nation that came. So this particular piece was a mixture, of course, because you got the 9 pearls, and then you got the women in the back. So with the colors, with the red and some of the purples and everything, you got the violets, the African violets that represent them, and of course the elephant. And with those particular elephants, there's still element of collage and stuff in those. It has a really, what I call like a royal collage paper that's a part of those particular images. And so since then, I've created some other things with the Deltas too as well. I have another piece called Deltas Tea that's on the site too as well, of 3 women with their teacups and.
And just in case someone doesn't know, what are we talking about when we say Deltas? In case we have some.
Yes, Delta Sigma Theta. This is a Greek sorority that was established back in 1913 out of, I believe, Howard University. And a lot of them came from Howard, too. And so.
The elephant, right? The one on the right is a little bit darker and it has 1 foot up. Is there something on that?
Oh, it's just the placement.
Okay.
Just the placement of the piece. And of course, they say elephants with their noses up represents prosperity and other different types of things like that. I'm not into that particular type of the analogical side of that, but yes.
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
I like that one. I like that. We were scrolling through, and those are the 2 that caught my eye. And that one, I guess, is almost 8-9 years old. But the original,
I have the original.
Okay.
I still have it. The original is, I think it's, I know it's 48 inches tall. I believe it's probably about 30 inches wide, roughly.
Wow.
Yeah, for the original. Yeah. Well, let me show you guys a couple more pieces too. Let's kind of maneuver around a little bit again. I'll show you.
And Stefania, did you share something still?
Yeah, my question is I know that we jump right into the art, but I want him to share a little bit about his where he was raised. I mean, you're a native of Colorado?
Yes, I'm a native of Colorado, born and raised here. Here for 18 years, went to college in Arizona for graphic design. I lived in San Antonio, Atlanta, and been back here since 2000.
Where'd you grow up? What neighborhood? What school did you go to?
I went to Columbine Elementary. I went to Cole Middle School. I went to South High School. So just to name a couple of them. Yeah. So grew up over on the east side. Yeah. Over there close to Colorado Boulevard and Martin Luther King Boulevard. So I know all that area, both sides of Park Hill.
We call that the east side from back in the day. Now there's a whole different east side. Aurora.
Yeah.
So, nice. Well,
I live way on the east.
No, we live in Kansas.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're the Far East.
Yeah.
Right?
Far East.
So go ahead and show us your next piece of art that you were gonna bring up.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a piece I did last year. Let me get this thing to turn around. This piece is called Last Words. And then the other part of the piece is called Let's Begin. So this particular piece is a two-part piece, and it's the last words of George Floyd. So it's like a young boy who's holding
try
up.
to move over to your right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So it's a young boy. So I'll start down here as you see the young boy. And I used my son for reference for this particular piece. His shirt and his pants are all collage paper that I went and painted back on it. And then you see there's a burning house over to the right side here. And he's holding up this sign. And the sign goes on to the next part of the campus. So it's a two campus piece. And so the piece starts up.
Scoot back a little bit. Scoot back a little bit. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me
There
go
you
at
go.
the top.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you see at the top of the sign says last words. And as you scroll down, you can kind of read, these are the very last words of George Floyd as he's saying, please, please, I can't breathe. You know, man, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Please, man, I can't breathe. My face, just get up. I can't breathe. Please, I can't. And then it just goes into where he starts calling his mom. I'm through. I'm claustrophobic. My stomach hurts. My neck hurts. Everything hurts. He says, some water, something, please, please. I can't breathe, officer. He said, don't kill me. He said, they're going to kill me, man. Come on, man. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. He says, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. Please, sir, please, please. And his last words, I can't breathe.
Wow. Jeez. You know, to visually see them in the backdrop of that, you know, either looks like there's, you know, that could be blood. I don't know. What is the material that's coming over the words?
Yes, yeah. So it's like, you know, if you've ever had something that was thrown up against something, you know, that just got damaged and ran over. And, you know, like if somebody took a tomato, you know, and threw it at something, you know, just from all the hatred that has gone on through the past. And so
And the
that's
red
all
and
kind
blue
of
dripping down.
wrapped up in
also.
the picture. Yeah. And it's red, white, and blue. If you see the condemnation in it, you know, the sign is white. You got some red, you got some blue, just representing our country.
The irony and the freedom portion.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's America.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'll show you some other stuff a little bit more lighter. This is another piece. This is part of a series that I have. It's a woman empowerment series. Many different women from, let me move my hand away from the camera. Yeah. So this one is called Monarch Beauty. And each one that I have has a name and a representation. So this young lady with the butterflies just representing the metamorphosis, you know, from a young lady transitioning from a young lady into a young woman. And so in this particular piece, there's a lot of collage and mixed media. The original is sold. This is a embellished G-clay of the original. But what I did is I put back in what was in the original piece. There's a flower in the piece. She's got earrings, real earrings in the piece, and then collage and mixed media in the hair. And then also I put more paint back on the piece too as well.
The detail is phenomenal.
That's not on your website yet, is that? Or
Yeah,
It is.
this one's on there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. This one is called Monarch Beauty. There's one that's called Intricate Beauty, Piercing Beauty.
Did you sell it already?
Yeah. That one sold like 2 years ago, but this one is the size of this one. This is 30 by 30 of this one. So I go back and put enough detail back into this particular piece. It's on an archival canvas that it almost becomes another original, because if I did another one, I couldn't do it exactly like I did this one.
So did you? And so I didn't hear. So did you go to school specifically for art, to study art?
No, I'm self-taught.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because you're using terminology I don't understand. So I guess I understand how people talk what people think when we talk about law. But
Yeah.
archival paper. Well, like, what is this?
Yeah, that archival paper that it doesn't go bad, or oxygen and light don't yellow the canvas.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now,
So here,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. There.
yeah, I was just going to show
This
another piece. This one is called Fearlessly Beautiful. And this is another one of my cubism pieces. Within this piece, I use real agate stone in her jewelry. And then also in her earring here too as well. I got leather in her coat. There's also a real button here, raised acrylic. And then all this texture and stuff over here are all individual pieces. And then there's also some different texture and stuff in her hat too as well.
She reminds me of Mary J. Blige a little bit. I don't know.
When I looked at it, I thought that's who it was.
Yeah. It's not Mary, but I've had that. Some people said they saw Alicia Keys. Some people saw somebody else, but yeah, she's her own lady.
Oh,
Wow,
man.
that's amazing. Now look,
Yeah.
we're running close to the end of the show here. We have like the
I
last.
got
10
Let me
let's-
get one more piece up so I can show you real fast.
Okay.
Okay, hold on for a second here. Okay. All right, so this piece is called The Great Ascension. And this
There
is a
you go.
piece. Yeah,
Fucking nips.
There you go.
yeah. And this piece is this is the
Back up a little
original.
bit, see if we can get the whole thing in
Okay.
there.
Okay, let me get my chair out the way.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
It's the resistance.
Yeah. And so I'll take you up on it so you can see it a little bit closer. So this is Pac. And what I did is this is all real jewelry on here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And crystal in his in his nose ring. And then I'll kind of go up on a piece so you can see this is Pac through the years.
Get it. Hold on.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got locked on mic.
Yeah.
Not on me.
And then here's Nipsey as a young boy. And then his actual piece.
The details in your art, just there's no words. It's amazing.
And then in the middle, what I did is I took a real bandana. So I'll zoom out from that and actually put that into the piece. And then in the back, there's jewelry and everything that I kind of collaged together. And then at the top, there's a dove.
Now at the on the website, it's got prices. You're serious. You're serious.
Yeah.
And people are buying these pieces. They're not playing around with you. They're not coming up there wheeling and dealing. We're paying black people, black talent what they're worth. That's a $6,500 piece. And for real Pac fans, real Nipsey fans, that's 100%. That's 100% worth it. With that level of detail, that level of reference and metaphorical content.
Yeah, so that's been a blessing this last couple months. I had one of my clients. She's bought 15 pieces from me so far.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Flew in from DC just to come see some of my new work and bought like 5 pieces. And I just
do you have a live gallery? Do you have a live gallery where people can come to?
Yeah, it's just my home. It's a home-based studio.
Okay.
But yeah, I can set up appointments for people to come see pieces and to kind of look. Yeah.
Now you've received some accolades and made some accomplishments. I hear you've gotten some covers of magazines, been in some film.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that darn magazine down here. There's a magazine called My Black Colorado. They're on their 3rd year and their 1st edition for this year. And I made it to their legacy issue, myblackcolorado.com. And one of my pieces, and it's been gaining some real popularity, called "In the Dark Still I Glow." If I had more time, I'd show you the piece because I got it behind me. But so that's been a blessing. So being able to get on there, and I might be able to do some other work for the magazine too as well. So I'm very thankful. Also, like I said, I have a display at Children's Hospital currently right now.
Mhm.
Which piece is that?
Huh?
Which piece is that Children's Hospital again?
The one on
There's 7 pieces, but one piece is called "In the Dark Still I Glow." If you look that piece up on my site, "In the Dark Still I Glow," that's one of the pieces that's over there. It's a young lady. She's holding this like a glowing circle, but there's a lot of information and detail within the piece, representing a lot of young Black girls where many times or things that they've been told and felt like they were not beautiful and that they weren't pretty. But this is showing that even in the dark, your skin still glows, you're still beautiful, and the connections to that. And the white frame around the dot represents the illuminated people who represent and understand who they really are. The black dots that are on the outside are the folks that are still lost and still trying to find their way into the middle. So each dot in the piece I do all by hand. So it's probably full of thousands and thousands and thousands of individual dots that I put into the piece and do each one.
As Marcus is over here, he's hosting from his laptop, and I'm over here. I'm crabbing off of his computer over here. Just every time he flips, there is something else that stands out. So everybody in the audience and watching and listening, please go to Lockhart Gallery, go to Thomas E. Lockhart, and check out his work, because there's a ton of really meaningful stuff in there. And honestly, you didn't even show the tip of the iceberg when it comes to how much artwork you've done that included Black women.
Yeah.
You've got some wonderful artwork with Black women. I implore everybody, please go to this man's website, check him out.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just very grateful to be a part of this platform about from the things that you guys are doing, and just the encouragement that I get too as well. So I'm very thankful. Always going to be humble, always going to be modest,
right?
Because I know where my gifts come from, and I'm always willing to share and continue to grow. And I'm going to continue to keep doing my research, so my pieces are more than just a pretty piece, but that they have some significance behind them, that they continue to grow. Yeah. Yeah.
So look, we're at 4 minutes left in the hour.
Yeah.
What we like to do before we close out is everyone just try to give a dope Black thought. Anyone got one on deck?
Well, like I said, I want to say I've known Thomas how long?
It's been some years now, huh? At least about 6, something like that.
At least a while. Yeah. And I knew you were an artist. I didn't realize I was standing next to. Wow. I did not realize how great your artistry was, and you know that's on me. Should have been listening, because you told me. You told me. What did you say? So you don't believe fat meat's greasy, but you told me, and I should have listened. But I am thoroughly impressed, man. I am thoroughly impressed, and you keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I have to agree. I mean, the detail in which you have put your talent into this work is just magnificent. You are the dope Black thought for today. So there's no other word. There's nothing else to say.
Oh man,
magnificent. Yeah.
And my dope Black thought is Black talent. Black talent. It comes in all colors. It comes in all shapes, all sizes, all forms, all medium. A lot of people don't think about Black artwork that much, and it's important for us to include the arts in this conversation. You know, and I'm talking about, like, you know, outsiders, you know, looking in, because we're not just all talking about politics. We're not just all about, you know, elected officials and policies and all that. We got to talk to the soul of Black people sometimes, and art
Unity.
music. That's us.
Yes. Yeah. We are extremely talented in so many different things. I mean, not only did our ancestors build this country, they put together a vast amount of creative inventions in place that our country still runs on, from the things that we put in place, including the fillet within the light bulb, including the radiator within the car, or the coolant in the refrigerator, or the elevator that we go up, or the lawnmower, or the helicopter, or the Garrett wand that was stolen from a black man, or the cell phone in the home, or the Palm Pilot, or all these different things that we've created, over time, that America would not be able to run without them. From the Super Soaker to the first transfusion of blood, to the cotton gin that we had a big role in playing in. There's so many different things that we did, and so I'm very thankful to be able to show that and showcase that. Not only are they call us African Americans, we're Americans,
Right.
Yep.
And we are some of the most patriotic people in this country.
Yep.
Because we fought in every single war. We've been a part of everything, and it was really crazy. I was hearing back in World War II, they were the black men that were coming off the ships. Their leads told them, "Please hurry up and take off your stripes. Get your stripes off," because there were mobs as they were going to be getting off of those ships that were ready to kill those black men for fighting, in World War II. I mean, even when we went over to the war, they didn't feel that we were good enough, so they sent us to the French to fight with them. Mm-hmm. And we ended up doing so well that the French gave us their top Medal of Honor, So it's just, we have a huge, amazing history, and we really need, and I can't leave this talk without saying my dope black thought for today is reparations now.
I like it. Official member. Official friend of the show.
Oh my goodness.
It was an honor. Please hold on. With this stage though, we're gonna end the stream and say dope black thoughts out. Peace.
Bless you.
What is love? It's a drug. Let it rotate, then get back in it. Calling me an Uber just to get back to you. Hit the gas shot like fate, I send it. Is it really worth the wait? I don't get it. If I didn't gravitate, taste that wet emoji got me higher out of space.